Start for Japan, and getting the start for New Zealand will be Rebecca Godfrey. Head coach Yuri Tsuji for Japan, and Rosie Gunn, the head coach for New Zealand. Should be set to go here, and again, New Zealand going left to right, and Japan going right to left. Hope you enjoy the coverage today on the Lacrosse Sports Network and the Olympic Channel. We'll have all three games for you here throughout the day. New Zealand starting off with Bree Johnson here on the draw, number 9. Again, for this New Zealand team that is 3-3 in the tournament. Japan starting off with Kokura Nakazawa. And Japan able to control the draw. As ahead with Japan is Mihu Tamamori. And Tamamori quickly surrounded by New Zealand defenders.
You know, great crash defensively on that. You have 3 players crashing in on the 8 and really pressuring ball.
Ball goes out of bounds off of Lucy Hackett here for New Zealand, and a restart for Japan's Mihu Tamamori. Tamamori, a lethal scorer for this Japan team, 17 goals, 3 assists, and leads the team too with 27 shots on goal. So that's a player to watch as Japan making its way through Nakazawa and had to retreat as she ran into a wall of New Zealand defenders. Here is Negi Nakazawa. The two sisters wearing 11 and 12 here for Japan. And this is Negi Nakazawa. Back and forth with Kokura, her sister. Taking it down the left side here for Japan. There defensively is Nikki Fordyce, and a good steal here for New Zealand.
What a wall of defense right now. We can hear them talking, the slides on point. You know, this New Zealand defense really making contact on or before the 8-meter.
And that was Lucy Hackett on the steal. Lucy from Auckland, New Zealand. Had 4 draw controls and a caused turnover and an early victory over Wales. Plays midfield and defense. She goes by the nickname Goose. Lucy Hackett, as New Zealand struggling to get through midfield here with Lonnie Muat. And play whistle down here. The call goes against Japan. That'll be against Mihu Tamamori. Lonnie Muat will distribute the ball off here to Olivia O'Leary. And back behind that net, New Zealand's Keita Perry will take it and flips it up top. Sophie Unsworth out there on the attack. Henri Kruger wearing number 8 here for New Zealand. Kruger with 10 goals, 12 for 21 on draw controls. Here's a try and a shot goal here for New Zealand.
Great drive. I love that. She doesn't slow down. She drives, she commits to it. She commits to getting that ball in the back of the net, and she displays that right here. And first goal of the game is key.
Ani Kruger gets the goal here for New Zealand to give them a 1-0 lead. That's her 11th goal of the tournament. And a quick snap down low and a terrific job there by Ani Kruger. Kruger out of Cambridge, New Zealand. Goes to the New Zealand School of Radio. 3 goals to open up the tournament for Ani versus Wales. And gets the opening goal here for New Zealand. Early here in the first. This time Brooke Bolstad versus Connie Cozy here on the draw. So a couple of different looks here after the first draw.
Great speed right now.
Brooke Bolstad runs into a host of Japanese defenders, including Ai Mori, who almost got the takeaway. Bolstad with a pass back behind the net here to Katy Perry. Perry up top to Unsworth, and across now to Bolstad. Bolstad lost the handle as the ball got knocked away from her by Cozy.
You know, both teams playing a very aggressive defense and rapid slides.
Anoka Ida ahead with it here for Japan. Ida with a goal and 13 loose ball pickups, 7 caused turnovers. Spread out offense here for Japan. Kanai Kozi to Yamani back behind the net. And Japan will set up here. 10:07 to play here in the first. A 1-0 lead for New Zealand on a goal by Henri Kruger. Good cut toward the front of the net. That shot and a save coming from New Zealand's Rebecca Godfrey. Terrific chance there by Maya Fuji. Pass in front, shot, score. Here Japan, it's tied up at 1 apiece.
Didn't look like New Zealand was ready for that, you know, getting the ball initially to X, ready for a good, clean feed. You know, that is fantastic lacrosse IQ right there and decision making.
Mana Yamani with 10 goals now in the tournament. She gets her first here of the game. We're tied up at 1. 9:24 to play here in the first. And Monica Jones will get the assist on the goal here by Mona Yamani.
And we should note, in the international game, we have 3-3-3 sets. So 3 attack, 3 midfielders, and 3 defenders.
Racing for the ball here is Kokora Nakazawa, but New Zealand will knock it out of bounds here as it went off the stick of Henri Kruger. And Japan's Negi Nakazawa will restart here for this Japanese team.
And not many options in the midfield right now. Our team really clustered up, and you can see New Zealand swarming the ball.
Nakazawa got it knocked out of her stick here. Good job defensively from behind from Olivia O'Leary. And New Zealand will have possession of the ball.
Great job spreading out in their midfield, too. This is how you transition the ball more efficiently.
Olivia O'Leary, who just got that takeaway for New Zealand, goes to school at Glen Elg Country High School down in Woodbine, Maryland. She's a freshman at Jacksonville University. It's a good opportunity here for New Zealand. That's thwarted. A nice defensive effort there from Kokora Nakazawa. Played around now to Lonnie Mowat. And grabbed by the goal scorer, Henri Kruger. Here's Nikki Fordyce, back to Kruger. Kruger with some nice speed, barreling through the defense. Kruger, tough angle there to take a shot as the throw in front. Quick one-timer there coming from Fordyce and just missed.
You know, I can't help but notice Japan playing defense a little bit farther out on ball, and they can do that. This is one of those teams that has the speed to be able to back that up and get all the way back for slides.
Good start to the tournament for Nicole Fordyce. 2 goals, 2 assists, 2 caused turnovers versus Wales, and an opening victory. Goes to Longwood University, and she's from Auckland, New Zealand. Played up top now to O'Leary. And now Lonnie Mowat.
She's looking to take it 1v1, but being denied right now by that Japan defense.
Good cut toward the middle here from New Zealand's Bree Johnson. Johnson gets knocked down. Pass was off the mark, but they're going to say it's a shot, so it'll be Japanese possession.
You know, New Zealand really trying to drive from up top, but Japan not allowing it, playing a really aggressive defense, double teaming the ball. It looks like right now that New Zealand will really need to cut fast and with intention going into this next portion of the game.
Japanese goaltender Hina Uchida outlets a pass here, and Japan quickly upfield as Rizoko Yamamochi tries to gather it up here midfield, but it's stolen back here by New Zealand. Nice job by Nikki Fordyce. Pass across here to Perry. Perry able to cut through. Finds an open player on the left side, but play will be whistled down here on a call going against Japan.
You know, the cardinal sin there, if you are double teamed, you can never stop your feet. You gotta try to run away.
Here's Keita Perry here on the free position, just outside the 8, takes the shot, and a good save there by Uchida.
Uchida really fantastic at those bouncer saves. I think right now we got a fake high, shoot low, or fake low, shoot high.
Here is Nikki Fordyce near side here for New Zealand. Cross now to Bolstad. Bolstad gets a little bit of a pick, able to cut around the defense. Bolstad with a shot, and it hits the outside of the net. The New Zealand fans thought it went in. They saw the net bulge, but not the case. Just wide as Uchida will play it.
You know, in men's lacrosse, they call that a mom goal. In women's lacrosse, they call that a dad goal. All the dads think it's a goal.
Boy, the dads were up and cheering here in New Zealand. They thought they had taken the 2-1 lead. We've got 5 minutes to play here in the first. Ahead with it for Japan is Nakazawa. This is Kokura Nakazawa.
You know, Kokura really going into that second gear there. We see it more often than not. You know, players hesitant that they're going to run into the double team. If you use your speed to your advantage, you can get through that potential double team.
Kokura, who leads the team in goals with 19. Looking for number 20 here of this tournament. She will pass it off. A low percentage pass there as it was intended for Moni Yamamani, but grabbed back here, luckily here by Japan. Another chance in front, shot, and a score here for Japan.
Great placement on that one. Looks like we have a call. There's a little bit confusion on the field right now what the call actually is. My guess is, judging by the hand command that the ref just made, I believe it might be a dangerous follow-through.
So dangerous follow-through on the potential goal scorer there for Japan, but not the case. We're still tied up at 1, so no goal. Wipe that one off the board as New Zealand will take it the other way. Bree Johnson on a 3-on-3 here as the other attackers will join the fray. Bree Johnson will hand it off here to Taylor Jakeman. Jakeman wearing the white bandana back behind the net here for New Zealand.
You can see her teammates cutting through, making space for her.
Johnson out on the attack here with Perry. Perry has it here for New Zealand. Goes across now to Bolstad. Bolstad down low. A little pass in front here. No try there for Perry. She had an opening for a moment, but couldn't take advantage. Here's Fordyce. Good defense here by Japan, especially Nakazawa, number 12. Back behind the net, Katia Perry. Uchida trying to take away that pass. That one intended there for Jakeman, but she couldn't get through with a one-timer, and we've got a call here against Japan and Aoi Mori.
Great defense by Japan right now. You can see them approaching, breaking down their steps, making contact on or before the 8, and directing those attackers out of the 8-meter.
Taylor Jakeman with 5 goals and 3 assists. We'll get it started again here for Team New Zealand. 12 shots on goal for Jakeman through this tournament. Perry with a pass, grabbed now by Kruger. Kruger decided against the shot, and we'll have a call here against Japan.
8-meter opportunity. Not the best angle in the world, but this is a lefty goalie, so things are a little bit different.
She cuts through, takes the shot. Good save there by Uchida off of Henri Kruger, looking for her second of the game.
Fantastic save. You know, that shot is right on the crease.
New Zealand maintains control here with under 2 minutes to play here in the first. Throwing up top here to Brooke Bolstad. Bolstad trying to muscle her way through. Cuts left, and a call here against Japan again. So another try inside the 8-meter here for New Zealand and Brooke Bolstad. 7 goals and an assist for Bolstad in this tournament.
And it looks like we have the same call again. Shooting space for the second time.
Here's Bolstad here with another try. Tries to whip it down low and goes in wide of the net. Nice job there defensively by Japan, and Yamayuchi getting the stick there, forcing her to kind of toss that one down below. Couldn't take that high shot. Katia Perry now hands it off to Fordyce. Near side, down to 1:05 to play here in the first. 1-1 game here between New Zealand and Japan. Here's Henri Kruger. Kruger takes the shot, hit the outside of the net again. As Uchida able to trap it.
You know, New Zealand right now, double cuts, looking to make lanes for their teammates up top. Great idea. We just got to finish it if we're New Zealand.
Nice pass to the midfield here to Kokura Nakazawa. And again, that terrific speed leading the team as she passes it up here to Monica Jones, who gets the goal here for Japan. It's a 2-1 lead here for the Japanese. A goal and an assist for Monica Jones.
Fantastic shot right there. We talked about this going into the game. Japan known for their speed and explosiveness, really using that to their advantage, driving hard to net. Didn't even give New Zealand an opportunity to set up defensively. We have the replay here of that shot.
And again, Kokura Nakazawa getting that going with Monica Jones. That is the 14th goal of the tournament for Monica Jones. She's got 2 points here in this game so far, 30.5 to play here in the first. As New Zealand's Bree Johnson here on the draw. And Japan this time sending out Nahu Murata. So Japan using a lot of different options on draws here in the first quarter. Trying to see who's got the hot hand.
You know, they're fantastic at ground balls, those 50-50 loose balls, boxing out, speed to their advantage every time.
Taylor Jakeman with a good pass here to Perry. Perry in front, shot there, goes in wide by Fordyce. And good hustle by Japan's Hanoka Ida.
Yeah, we talk a lot about this game being a game of inches, right? Right there at the last second, going into a full sprint and being able to possess the ball for her team now.
Hands it off to Uchida, but that will just about do it. Uchida will hold on to it here, and we'll end the first with a 2-1 lead for Japan. Japan getting goals from Monica Jones and Mona Yamani. And New Zealand getting their goal from Henri Kruger. And like we had in the last matchup, a Japanese 13-6 victory. This one a little bit closer here today. And should be a good second quarter. We look forward to that.
Yeah, I think we have a game on our hands. Japan really coming out hard, but New Zealand looking like a different team.
We'll take a break here. Be back with more in just a moment. This is the 5th place finished between Japan and New Zealand here at the 2019 Lacrosse Women's U19 World Championships right here on the Lac Sports Network and the Olympic Channel. '19 Lacrosse Women's U19 World Championships continues here for the 5th place overall between New Zealand and Japan. And Japan with a 2-1 lead here after the first quarter.
You know, it's been a fantastic game so far. We still have a little bit of time left. You know, it's been great seeing that both these teams stepping up to the plate. New Zealand looking like a different squad from before. Japan really reliant on their speed. I think we have a great game on our hands.
And as we've seen through the first quarter, 2 new sets of people here on the draw. Kokura Nakazawa for Japan and Bree Johnson here for New Zealand. Johnson actually may have taken one of the draws, but this is a a new look each time in the draw. And again, just both coaches looking like they want to try different matchups. And again, see who's got the hot hand here on draws. This time a face-off violation against Japan. And it'll be Bree Johnson to take it ahead here for New Zealand. Johnson with 8 goals, 3 assists, 27 of 57 on draws in this tournament. It's a good spin move here by Keita Perry, and Perry will leave it off back behind the net.
New Zealand very spread out right now, trying to make it difficult for Japan to slide.
Kruger sent the pass across here to Johnson, who's still out there on the attack. Taylor Jakeman now around the horn here, an opportunity down low for Keita Perry. Player in front is O'Leary. Shot right along the ground, goes in wide there by Perry.
You know, New Zealand attack right there, trying to get the Japan players to kind of pick each other off. That crease, you can't run in the crease, so it acts kind of like a second pick.
Yuzuna Ishii with a good hustle to get back there, but almost beating her was O'Leary, who was about 5 strides behind her and almost caught up to her to get possession back for New Zealand, but Japan here will bring it ahead. Early going in the second quarter again for 5th place overall is a long pass here, and trying to track it down here for Japan is Negi Nakazawa. We'll see if this works out for Japan. It doesn't, as the pass intended for Jones picked off by New Zealand.
You know, New Zealand really conceding to the midfield on their redefend during Japan's transition.
Yeah, that pass surprised me a little bit. I'm sure it surprised New Zealand a bit too, but take a few chances here and there, try to make it work as Bree Johnson will pass it in front. Chance there, goes in just wide by Taylor Jakeman.
You can see New Zealand in that last shot, they're aiming for that opposite side. You know, several of our shooters here very, very used to shooting with a goalie who is right-handed and having to change up their shots for this.
Jakeman with 5 goals and 6 assists in the tournament. She hails from Wellington, New Zealand. She actually got the MVP award as New Zealand won the 2018 Australian Lacrosse Association Southern Cross Tournament for the first time. Had an outstanding tournament there as New Zealand's Henri Kruger has got the New Zealand goal controls. Cross now to Sophie Unsworth. Up top to Perry, and now we'll leave it off here for Kruger.
You know, Perry really leading the attack there. You can see her pointing to everyone, telling her teammates where to go.
Call goes there against Maka Tamura. Oh, no, check that. It's going to be call against New Zealand. And Tamura will take it. So that was that a charge by New Zealand? Didn't see the call, but
it looked like it might be. A little difficult to see what the calls are right now, that ref on the opposite side of the field.
So nonetheless, Japan will take it across here as Japan's Yuzuna Ishii. Scoop it off here for Adachi. Adachi trying to cut through the middle, cut off there nicely by Perry.
You know, we were talking about that charge call yesterday. A lot of defenders rarely get calls, but it's been nice seeing that these charge calls being called.
And that one went right off the foot of New Zealand's Rebecca Godfrey. And she was able to make the save. Kick, save, and a beauty, as they say in hockey. And New Zealand will take it ahead here with Bree Johnson, number 9.
We should note that there is self-start in this game. You still have to set up where the initial penalty occurs.
So Johnson will take it ahead here for New Zealand. Fake the pass left, now decides to go left here to Moat, and will play it back behind the net to O'Leary. Defended there by Nakazawa. O'Leary being pushed back, now hands it off to Moat, who hails from Cambridge, New Zealand. And her head coach, Rosie Gunn, saying that she's probably one of the quickest players on the team.
New Zealand right now getting the ball to X and looking for that 1v1 drive. Teammates cutting through so the slide can't potentially happen, but Japan not letting it happen.
Bolstad with a pass, almost handcuffed its intended receiver there, Perry, who corrals it back behind the net. Here's O'Leary here for New Zealand. Exactly 10 minutes to go here in the second. 2-1 lead for Japan as Perry tried to get the pass through, but a good job by Uchida to anticipate.
Fantastic swipe. And this is the redefend by New Zealand. You know, they concede to the midfield so they can swarm the ball versus, you know, guarding the goalie and those low girls. They don't want to get caught up in that situation, especially with Japan, a very fast team. So as you can see, everyone dropping down in the midfield and the 12-meter.
And do you have to, as a coach, do you have to adjust how you want to defend depending on your personnel?
Definitely. You know, if you have a very fast team, you can high pressure across the board. If your team isn't as fast as the team you're playing, you have to adjust to that. You know, doing a midfield swarm can be to your advantage.
Well, Japan will set up here with Monica Jones, who's had a good day so far with 2 points, a goal and an assist. Let's see if she can get another one here. Quick shot there by Nakazawa, and it may have hit off the post. Either that or Godfrey got a piece again with the left foot. Another chance in tight here. We'll have a call coming up against New Zealand's Lucy Hackett.
Yeah, tough call right there. It looked like it was a crease violation, and you could see Japan setting up a decoy stack, not exactly a stack, and then a quick cut from up top.
No, my apologies again. Call goes against Japan, so New Zealand will take it here with Godfrey. The long pass out ahead here to Nikki Fordyce. Fordyce now to Bolstad. It goes by her, scooped back up by Perry. Perry with a great move. Faked out 2 defenders, including Suzukawa. Chance here in tight. Shot scored here for New Zealand as Henri Kruger gets her second of the game. And we're all tied up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, beautiful finish right there. Driving hard to net, being intentional and faking out this goalie is key, and putting themselves on the board again. Here's that replay of that shot. Great feed. And you'll notice she catches that while running in. Fantastic shot. You know, she shoots on the goalie's right side because that goalie is left. Perfect placement on that shot.
And 12th goal of the tournament for Henri Kruger. And with Brooke Bolstad, who set that whole play up. We call that in basketball an ankle breaker, where 2 defenders were there and one just completely was fooled and went down. So that set up that situation there, and the goal from Kruger. As a ball scooped up here by New Zealand. Katia Perry, or check that, that's actually Unsworth, number 39 as opposed to 19.
Great ground ball pickup on that. You know, she ran full speed. She choked up on her stick. She protected the ball. Fantastic loose ball pickup.
Pass intended for Bolstad goes out of bounds here, so Japan will have it. And you talked through this tournament, Amanda, about the fact that goaltenders have to have a short memory. I would imagine when you make a pass like that, too, you got to have a short memory and just kind of shake it off and go, all right, well, we'll get it right back.
You know, the goalies I've had the pleasure of chatting with just really talk about their mental game, right? It's a hard position to be in. You're the last line of defense. You know, they take that job seriously.
And that's exactly what happened, is Bolstad able to get it back. So if you're patient, you stay tenacious defensively, it'll all pay off, as Unsworth will take it ahead here for New Zealand near side. Defended by Cozy. Sent across to Bolstad. Good speed, but a foul will come here against Japan. So a chance for Brooke Bolstad here just inside the 8-meter. 7 goals and an assist for Brooke Bolstad in this tournament. And she'll get the pass off. Shot scored as Katia Perry will get the goal for New Zealand, her first of the game.
You know, we talk about 8 meters a lot because there's so many penalty shots in this game, and having great decision-making is key. And in that situation, she drove hard to net, knowing full well that she didn't have a good angle with the lefty goalie, passing to her teammate right here, who is open on the top of the crease. You can see her quick pass to her teammate, rolls on the inside, and shoots against the goalie's momentum. That is perfect lacrosse IQ right there.
There's 3 defenders off to the left, just one there for Japan and Kane Cozy, but again, it was Katia Perry getting her 11th goal of this tournament, and first of the game, gives New Zealand a 3-2 lead here with 5 minutes to play in the second. Kokura Nakazawa has been taking now more the majority of the draws here for Japan. And she will be out there here versus New Zealand's Bree Johnson. So that matchup has been pretty consistent now here in the second after both coaches going with a multitude of different players to try the draw.
Yeah, we talk about the draw a lot because it's key in this game. If you dominate the draw, you dominate the game. Just a simple change-up, taking that draw left versus right, pulling versus pushing. You know, if you work together and you finally get something that works, you're not going to change it up.
And Bree Johnson coming into the game for New Zealand, 27-57 on draws, but can't get control of this one as Nakazawa will go the other way and flip it back behind the net here to Ishii. Yuzuna Ishii now hands it off to Yamane, one of the goal scorers here for Japan. Passed across the way to Tamamori. Mona Tamamori, who's seen a little bit of action here on attack here in the early going, and takes the shot. Good save there by New Zealand's Rebecca Godfrey.
You could see that she was on the opposite elbow there, the goalie's left elbow of the 8-meter, and her teammates set up a mini stack on that right side. That's an ISO play, you know, looking to take her defender 1v1 or some options down at X.
19 saves coming into the game for Rebecca Godfrey. She has saved 48% of the shots in this tournament. Bree Johnson here right side, hands it off to Gami Baglini, who's seeing her first action here for New Zealand. New Zealand with a 3-2 lead, 2 goals from Henri Kruger and 1 from Katia Perry. Johnson sends it across to Fordyce.
Looks like double cuts right here, trying to make a lane up top for their teammate.
Nikki Fordyce forced back, hands it off now to Unsworth.
Japan really has their head on a swivel defensively. We talk about this a lot. Knowing where ball is, knowing where girl is, being aware of team defense is key.
Nikki Fordyce, who's studying physical therapy at Longwood University in Auckland, New Zealand. I'll pass it back behind the net here to Gami Baglini. A lot of traffic in front there for Japan, and Japan with a good takeaway from Yamuchi.
You know, that pass in front of net terrifies me when I see players do that. You do not want to be that girl that accidentally scores on her own goalie. I urge goalies to come to the opposite side or behind net.
Kokura Nakazawa with a good pass to Nazakawa. Nazakawa with a shot, and she scores.
You know, what a bullet shot there. She's just ripping it as hard as she can. And that's a little farther out than we've seen in this game. We've seen a lot of like inside crease rolls and quick give and goes, but that was just a bullet pass outside at the 12.
Nagi Nakazawa.
We got the replay here on that shot. Brings her stick all the way back and ripping that shot opposite side.
And for Nagi Nakazawa, her 6th goal of this tournament. And we're tied up at 3. Here's a timeout with 1:41 to play here in the second. Japan and New Zealand for 5th place overall. We'll have the bronze medal game coming up with Australia and England at noontime, and then the U.S. and Canada at 3 here on the Lax Sports Network and the Olympic Channel. Good to have you along here on this Saturday afternoon. Beautiful day here in Peterborough, Ontario. John Lawrence, Amanda Mastera, and Ben Sackett, our producer here today. Had terrible wind yesterday. It's a little bit windy again today, but nothing like yesterday. So the conditions definitely not as big a factor as it was yesterday, and especially last night as well.
Yeah, definitely improved. You know, we had wind, we had rain, we had hail, we had just about everything. But today, a much better day to play some lacrosse. You know, we should note 22 countries here at the 2019 U19 World Games. It has been a pleasure getting to know these different countries, and this is our last day. We're wrapping it up today, and I'm excited for this competition. This game has been quite a nail biter, and I expect our other games today to be the same.
So Kokura Nakazawa on the draw again versus Bree Johnson. Becca Godfrey gets back in her net here for New Zealand. We're down to 1:41, tied up at 3 between Japan and New Zealand. Kakura Nakazawa has been good here in the second quarter on draws. Has already contributed a goal, and her sister Nagi Nakazawa just getting the last Japanese goal.
Yeah, it looks like we were early in the circle there. The draw is tricky, right? The draw goes up. You don't want to be early in, but you do want to have the first step. It looks like Japan was early in on the circle.
And you can see Kakura Nakazawa there just trying to get that early jump on it, and good call there by the officials as the New Zealand team with Olivia O'Leary back behind the net. Again, young lady goes to Glenig Country High School and going to Jacksonville University in Jacksonville, Florida.
You know, these Japan defenders right now, very, very impressive. Their communication on point. Slides are super fast.
O'Leary with a nice pass. Shot there, goes in wide on the one-timer by Nikki Fordyce.
And you can see these low defenders, the defenders who are covering the girls who are behind net. That is the hardest position to be in. It's hard to make that slide when you're fully turned around, and I'm very impressed by both number 12 and 16 and 22.
Nikki Fordyce, who goes to Longwood University, racked up 21 goals and 12 assists in her first season at Longwood. As a shot there by New Zealand's O'Leary. Saved there by Uchida. And Uchida will start it off here for Japan with 22 to go here in the second.
We talk a lot about this. You want to have that last shot before the quarter ends to get momentum going into the third quarter.
Perry one-on-one with Ida. Down low with 10 seconds to go. Plays it up top here now for Kruger. Kruger with a shot and a good save by Uchida.
I think we're going to see her. Yep, she's going to hold the ball. No need to force it with 0.3 seconds left.
So after 2 quarters here for 5th place overall here at the 2019 Lacrosse Women's U19 World Championship, 3-3 between New Zealand and Japan. Japan getting goals for Monica Jones, Mona Yamani, and Negi Nakazawa. And Henri Kruger getting 2 goals, and Katia Perry with a goal here for New Zealand. We'll take a break here at the half. And, listening and watching here on the Lax Sports Network and the Olympic Channel as we see some of the highlights here from the first 2 quarters. So 3-3 between Japan and New Zealand. We'll take a break and be back with more coming up right here from Trent University. And welcome back here to the 2019 U19 World Championships here in women's lacrosse here on the Lax Sports Network and the Olympic Channel. This is for 5th place overall. Japan and New Zealand tied at 3. And expecting a good third quarter here as Japan getting goals from Monica Jones, Mani Yamani, and Negi Nakazawa. Henri Kruger for New Zealand with 2 goals. Katia Perry with 1. And what kind of adjustments, Amanda, do you see here from both these teams? Obviously very even in score and even on the field. What adjustments do you see here for both teams?
I think both coaches are going to urge their team to adjust the transition. Right now we have Japan really hesitant on their transition because they're basically running into a New Zealand wall, and New Zealand on their transition forcing feeds and passes that aren't exactly there. So I think we're going to see that going into this third quarter and adjusting on there. I think we're also going to see several draw adjustments. You know, we talk a lot about draw wins versus draw controls. If you initially win the draw for your team, it ends up going to their team. We call it a draw win, but a draw control more often than not is a ground ball war.
Well, thought that both teams were going to maybe trade up goaltenders here as the 2 goaltenders, Nagata for Japan and Cox for New Zealand, were warming up, but we continue with the same 2. Hina Uchida for Japan now off to our left, and Rebecca Gottfried off to our right as New Zealand controls things as Gami Baglini will take it here for New Zealand. Pass got by Bree Johnson, able to scoop it back up, and now Henri Kruger will take it. Japan being a little more aggressive defensively here early in this third quarter as Gami Baglini now will pass it off to Katia Perry. Back to Gami Baglini, being defended there by Adachi.
You know, really looking to attack from X right now. New Zealand continues to run the ball to X versus driving from up top.
Nikki Fordyce here for New Zealand, 10 goals, 5 for 10 on draws, 7 draw controls during this tournament. Hands it off to Katia Perry. Perry with a pass in front, shot there, score by New Zealand as Henri Kruger through a huge maze of players. Able to get her 3rd of the game, and it's a 4-3 lead for New Zealand.
Fantastic job catching that feed under pressure. Very hard to catch a feed like that when you have 2 defenders. Fantastic job really tucking her stick in and then ripping that finish. Here's a replay of that shot right here. We have that feed from X and a quick little flip shot of sorts. We talk about this a lot. The player who ends up being at either side of X needs to be fantastic at feeding. You need to be able to respond under pressure and get those bullet feeds to your teammates, all while moving your feet.
And the 13th goal of the tournament for Henri Kruger. It says her big idol in life is Usain Bolt. And a good guy to pick with a lot of speed, which you need in lacrosse. And Henri Kruger is going to the New Zealand School of Radio and hails from Cambridge, New Zealand. 4-3 now, New Zealand. Bree Johnson again on the draw here for New Zealand. This time a different dance partner, and Japan's Nawa Murata.
Early on the draw.
The first draw there for Murata, and New Zealand will take over. The 4-3 lead here, trying to extend it, as back behind the net here is Katia Perry. Perry with that last pass to Henri Kruger. It was beautiful. Really thought that Kruger had no chance. There were 2 defenders on either side of her, but somehow managed to snap that shot by Uchida. As Gami Baglini. Watch closely here by Tamura, number 16.
Fantastic defense there. You know, she really followed her far out. We talk about this a lot with this Japan defense, is that they have the speed and the endurance to back that up.
And was almost able to force an errant pass there as Henri Kruger had to use all of her size to be able to scoop that up. That pass now missed too. That was intended for Bolstad, but luckily for New Zealand, Gami Baglini was there.
Yeah, we can see why New Zealand is trying to get the ball at X versus up top. You know, they're not having those drives, but we have an inside roll there. Good idea, but fantastic save.
And Katia Perry with that opportunity. Uchida able to make the close-in save, and Japan will take it ahead here with Maki Tamura. Now hands it off here to Fuji. Maya Fuji with some nice speed, looking things over. Not a lot of options here to her left. Has 3 players off to her right. And goes to Monica Jones, who's got 2 points here in this game.
And you can hear the New Zealand defense really talking right now.
Japan moves it around. Nahu Murata now to Jones. He's got an even 20 points here in the tournament with the 2 points here this morning. Yamani hands it off here to Ishii back behind the net. Yazuna Ishii warded off nicely there by Sophia Morecambe here for New Zealand. First time we've called her name here today.
Japan setting some off-ball picks, looking to get their teammates open.
Fuji to Jones. No outlet there. Is good coverage in front by Lonnie Moat. Yamamoto. Fake the handoff. Still controlling, cradling. Here for Japan. Able to get through, takes the shot, and a good save by Godfrey. But looked like the follow through there by Yamamoto may have clipped the New Zealand defender.
Yeah, it looks like we have an injury on the field right now.
9:51 to play here in the third. 4-3 lead for New Zealand. And that player looks to
and we have a replay.
Okay.
You know, good idea on that shot, but you know, this goalie here really, really explosive on that stick. She's a right-hand goalie, but pulls to her left side, making the save.
Get a save. 47% of the shots that she's faced during this tournament coming into the game. And where's number 16 there? Rebecca Godfrey has been terrific. That pass, though, a little off the mark here, was intended downfield for Bree Johnson, and now Japan get an opportunity here to tie things up. Here's Yamamoto. Near side here for Japan. 5 goals and assists, 6 draw controls for Yamamoto. Maya Fuji down in deep to Yamani. Yamani with one of the 3 goals for Japan. Gets a little pick there, had a chance, but quickly cut off there by Fordyce.
You know, both of these defenses very strong. We talk a lot about 1v1 defense, but if you have a team that can collectively play a high-pressure team defense, they're going to stop offensive units.
Kokura Nakazawa just came in on the attack, number 11. That's one player to watch with that terrific speed. Now to Yazuna Ishii. Ishii trying to get ahead of steam here. Jones now has it alongside of the net. Defended there by Grafis. Pass in front. That shot goes in wide by Nakazawa. But again, terrific speed. Able to create that opportunity, and Japan maintains control. Here's Yamani. Pushed off there by Fordyce. Nakazawa back behind the net to Ishii. Ishii got the pass through and somehow slid it through to Nakazawa. Kokura Nakazawa gets the goal, her first of the game, and we're tied up at 4.
Great job by Japan. You know, we've seen this play before. They set up that stack up top, but they're using different players to cut hard to net. Fantastic job.
And an even 20 goals now on the series here for Kokura Nakazawa.
And we have the replay of that shot right here. You know, we have those feeds to X, from X, and the finish right there. She drives hard, using the momentum off that feed to rip a shot.
Had a slight edge there on Sophia Morecambe, the defender, and able to snap it by Rebecca Gottfried here to tie it up at 4 apiece. We're down to 7:20 to play here in the third. Kokura Nakazawa is able to control here for Japan. Slips by Brooke Bolstad and now feeds it over for Ishii. Now to Jones. Out on the attack now to Mihu Tamamori, number 5. Saw her a little bit in the first quarter. Jones now to Yamani. Big wall stacked up here by New Zealand.
You know, we should talk about Japan's stick skills. You know, very talented, switching left to right, right to left, back and forth. They don't have, you know, a non-dominant hand. Both of their hands are dominant in this game.
Definitely a versatile thing to have. Is another shot score here by Kokura Nakazawa.
And a bullet shot right there. We noticed Japan being able to score right now from these quick cuts from up top on the 8, getting feeds from X and the elbow.
Now 21 goals for Kokura Nakazawa. And a real good strategic move by head coach Yuri Tsuji, who kind of saved Nakazawa initially on the attack and then rotated her in and came in almost right away with those fresh legs and was able to score now 2 quick goals here for Japan.
Yeah, you know, Japan doing a great job. We were talking about how do you adjust going into this third quarter, and what they end up doing is setting up kind of a decoy stack up top and having one player cut hard to X. And I have to say, both of these teams have great feeders from X. In order to make that feed under pressure, you have to move your feet, you have to switch left to right and right to left, and you have to throw in a dodge.
Yeah, boy, when you're always moving, always tough for the defender to kind of keep their wits about them and know exactly where you're going to be. And you can see that Kokura Nakazawa is always moving her feet. Great fake there to her right. Now feeds it to Jones back behind the net. And shot score here for Japan, and Japan now leads it 6-4.
You know, New Zealand not ready for that shot at all. You know, and Japan not letting them set up. Being lethal, being fast, moving that ball with intention. New Zealand didn't even have a moment to set up.
And Mona Yamani will get the goal, and that is her second of the game and 11th of the tournament.
A replay of that shot right here. Quick feed and finishing right there. Fantastic. And that feed from behind net, a little bit risky. You got to be careful. You know, goalies, you know, sometimes turn around.
Definitely unexpected. Unexpected by me, too. It took my eyes off for just a moment, and Jones just flipped it over the net so quickly there to Yamani, and just no hesitation. And Yamani, again, with her second of the game.
And that was a self-draw. She was able to draw to herself, quickly go in her cradle, and get the ball to the offensive side.
Adachi now to Nakazawa. Henri Kruger on her. Hands off now to Jones, who got an assist on that goal. Tries to go to Nakazawa again, but it goes right to Japan's Negi Nakazawa. And she gets the goal here for Japan, and they lead it now 7-4.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if either coach and probably that New Zealand coach calling a timeout pretty soon. You know, you can feel the momentum shift. You see it on the field. You know, Japan really feeling confident right now. New Zealand has to adjust on this draw. You know, if you have a player who is self-drawing or a team that is dominating on that draw circle, you have to do everything in your power to change it up. So you got to take that draw maybe with your offhand, you know, set up a different player, change up the draw, and change up the game.
And again, kind of a broken play there as Jones initially going to Kokura Nakazawa, then found Nagi Nakazawa, who's able to pick it up as Japanese player gets knocked down here off the draw. That's Kokura Nakazawa. But great heads-up play there by Nagi Nakazawa to find the loose ball, and deposited by Rebecca Godfrey for her second of the game. So 3 players now with 2 goals here for Japan. 2:52 to play here in the second, as Japan again controls here with a 3-goal lead. This is Ishii. And shot score here by Kokura Nakazawa. 3 here in the third.
You know, I predict, and call me crazy on this, I think they're going to face guard her. I imagine they're going to put their strongest, fastest defender on her to ensure she doesn't get the ball, because she is making those catches and making feeds and getting shots off when there is someone very close playing defense on her, and she is a huge threat right now. We have a replay of that shot. Great feed. Fantastic finish. You know, defense just slow on that, on her back, instead of having that stick up in that passing lane.
So So Bree Johnson and Kokura Nakazawa here on the draw. 8-4 now for Japan. So 4 straight here for this Japanese team. Minute 45 to go here in the third.
And early on that draw, it happens, especially when you're down goals.
And this time, Henri Kruger on that draw, as Jones now will take it ahead here for Japan. Plays it back behind the net now to Ishii. Back to Jones, and Ishii near side here for Japan. Yazuma Ishii. Jones now will go back to scoop it up. She's got 3 points here in this game, a goal and 2 assists. Jones with a pass in front, wide open player, but a great save there by Godfrey. And boy, Negi Nakazawa, you couldn't ask for a better opportunity there, but Godfrey somehow able to make the save.
You know, Godfrey making a great clear there. I love it. You know, a far clear to number 11. That's an over-the-shoulder catch, too. She kind of dropped it for a hot second, but that's a fantastic clear. Oh, and a beautiful finish. Beautiful finish. Not even facing the goal.
And what a pass by Lonnie Moa to Katia Perry, and Perry behind the back. Second goal of the game, 8-5.
You know, New Zealand responding on that. Fantastic shot placement.
30 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
12th goal of the tournament for Katia Perry.
Here's a replay of that shot. Good clean feed. Her back is turned to the goal. And a behind the back. You know, we were able to chat with Eve Hritzik, who will be in that Canadian game later today, and she gave us a demo on how to take a behind the back. You know, she said the head of your stick sees what you cannot, and that displays that right there.
Well, it takes a lot of guts to do it in a game. Of course, that's something that you never mind practicing, but when you actually have to do it in a game, shows a lot of confidence on that play for Katia Perry. And a great pass by Moat. I mean, she was just surrounded by defenders there. And big goal there for New Zealand, as might break up the momentum. As 4 straight before that from Japan. Here comes Nikki Fordyce here for New Zealand. Gammy Baglini. Japan being a bit more aggressive here defensively. Double team converged on her for a moment. Gammy Baglini looking for an outlet. Japanese defender lost her stick. That was Nakazawa.
You know, I'm surprised that the ref stopped that play to have her pick up the stick. I know there's a call here, but, you know, we've seen this in the PLL and the MLL. If players lose their stick, they end up playing defense without their stick, and it's pretty interesting to see, kind of like basketball all of a sudden.
And ice hockey, very similar too. You lose your stick, you break your stick, you've got to continue on here as the third quarter is over. But big third quarter it was for Japan. But again, New Zealand getting that late goal by Katia Perry, which again might get the momentum back for them. But clearly the momentum in that third went to Japan, and especially with Kokura Nakazawa, who got 3 goals.
Fantastic behind the back shot. You know, we talked about that a lot. This game continues to evolve each and every single year. You know, initially we saw back in the day when I played a lot of overhand shots, and now we have sidearm, and now we have behind the back, and now we have, you know, Twizzler. Like, we see all these great shots in the game evolve. It's exciting for us.
Oh, Katia Perry with the last New Zealand goal, started playing lacrosse at the age of 12 back in 2013, and she gets her New Zealand team back. Well, again, a little bit of momentum heading into the fourth. It's now a 3-goal deficit here for New Zealand. We'll take a quick timeout, be back with more with this 5th place finish here at the 2019 Lacrosse Women's U19 World Championships, watching here on the Lac Sports Network and the Olympic Channel. Back at Trent University here in Peterborough, Ontario, the 5th place game here between Japan and New Zealand. Japan with an 8-5 lead here over New Zealand. But Katia Perry getting the goal for New Zealand late in the 3rd and cutting the deficit down to 3 o'clock, or down to 3 goals. The 3 o'clock game will be USA-Canada. We'll have that here for you on the Lax Sports Network and the Olympic Channel. As Bree Johnson and Kokura Nakazawa again on the draw. Matchup we saw early in the most of the second quarter, as a matter of fact. It's Japan's Yamachi able to scoop up that ball that was knocked away from her. Now Jones.
You know, more often than not, a draw ends up being a ground ball, a 50-50 ground ball. So trying to teach our players across the board to really run through that ground ball, box out, choke up on your stick, and protect.
Here's Rizoko Yamachi. Across the way now to Ishii. Izuma Ishii with a good head of steam ahead, and a call here against New Zealand. I believe here, but they will confer. Now all three will talk about it. So Japan's Yuzuna Ishii will start outside the 8-meter. Looking over to her right here, directing traffic.
So indirect call here.
Here's Ishii. A little bit of a lob pass there, so not an opportunity there for Yamani to take the shot. Here's Jones. Jones with a pass in front. Gets it back. Takes a little bit of a hit there. Undetected is Yamachi. And the call will go against New Zealand's Sophia Morcom.
And you can tell right now that these Japan players off ball trying to get their defender in shooting space. You know, that is why they're posting up near the crease, waiting for the ball to move.
Good choice there by Yamachi. Really didn't have an angle to shoot. With a very close by Jade Panaho. Able to cut her off. Here is Yamachi. Yamachi with a shot, and it goes in wide, but another call here against New Zealand.
We talk about this a lot, though. Sometimes the call ends up slowing down the momentum of the game, and it's actually to the team's disadvantage. So it is a little bit tricky, but she does have an 8-meter shot opportunity right now.
3 goals for Yamachi here in this tournament, and that goes right off the post.
Inside post.
Big break here for New Zealand as Kokura Nakazawa will take another shot through the legs, and she scores her 4th of the game.
Unreal. You know, you can't help but notice her stick skills are excellent. You know, switching to her left hand, she has a tight cradle too, very smart and intentional in protecting her stick and then ripping those shots. She is quite lethal on attack. Here's a replay of that. You can see that tight cradle right there. Moves that top hand down, releases her shot. A hard attacker to defend.
23 goals now for Kokura Nakazawa in this tournament.
And I'm surprised still they aren't face guarding her. You know, she's such a threat. But when you do that, you actually take out one of your defenders, so she's no longer able to slide. So it is a tough call to make as a coach.
This time an early start there for Nakazawa. And Henri Kruger will take it ahead here for New Zealand. Kruger able to slide through 2 defenders. Now forced wide here by Japan's Hanoka Ade. A little bounce pass and a good one.
You know, good idea. She actually beat her defender far out. We haven't seen that yet in this game because Japan is so good, but that second slide there to help.
Nikki Fordyce with that opportunity here is Unsworth will take it here for New Zealand. Across the way now to Katia Perry. Perry with 2 goals in the game for New Zealand. Here's Henri Kruger. Kruger with a try there. Good save by Uchida.
Yeah, hard to go through and drive through 3 players. And here we talk about Japan's speed, right? Using it to their advantage.
And what a save there, Japan, with a shot by Adachi, and Godfrey comes up big.
You know what I've realized right now in their transition is if Japan makes that save, and when they do, they're looking to clear it out as fast as humanly possible, not giving New Zealand an opportunity to set up their midfield trap.
And another post, this time by Yuzuna Ishii. Trying to go far side and banked right off the post. So New Zealand getting a couple of breaks here, looking to take advantage, but it's Japan who takes advantage. Mona Yamane with her 3rd of the game. Now 10-5 here, Japan. They check the stick, looks good.
Yeah, we always hold our breath after that, right? We want to make sure that the stick is good and the goal is good, but fantastic job by Japan.
And the 12th of the tournament for Mona Yamane. 9:53 to play here in this game. Now a 5-goal lead. Not insurmountable, but with the way Japan is playing, especially when they get control and they go for that quick outlet, New Zealand has got to win some draws here.
You know, I think New Zealand also has to slow down Japan. I think it's Operation Slow Them Down.
And if you were a coach out there looking the way that Japan moves the ball and moves their feet, how exactly do you do that?
You know, I think New Zealand is doing an okay job of it right now. They're trying to adjust. It is difficult, right? You have to think there's 9 minutes left in the game. Some of the midfielders a little bit gassed. I think you concede to the midfield and you concede to the 12. Also, when we set up on the draw, too, I think I'd have a defender who's set up on the 12 instead of up at the restraining, ready to go.
Monica Jones back behind the net will feed it to Japan's Kanai Kozi. Kozi back to Jones. Great ball movement here by Japan. Flip now to Ishii. Ishii with a pass here to Murado. Murado gets cut off. Good defensive work there by Grafis. Now taken by Ishii. Ishii forced back. Again, Japan taking their time here.
You know, we talk a lot about strategy and how to adjust. I also think on the circle, if you aren't winning the draw and you've been on, you know, the ball has been on your defensive end, you actually overload your defensive side. So setting up 4 defenders and then you have 2 attackers on the opposite side.
Call coming up against New Zealand's Sophia Morcom, and it'll be opportunity inside the 8-meter here for Japan. And boy, when you're having to defend this much too, like New Zealand, that takes a lot out of you. Energy-wise, makes it tough to transition back and get your offense going. There's a chance here on the free position here for Japan as that shot in, but whistled down before the shot here is Yuzuna Ishii taking the free position.
Yeah, games like these are frustrating if you're a midfielder because you're going back and forth and back and forth. Midfielders will run up to 6 miles a game. Fantastic placement on that. It's not a hard bullet pass of a shot. You know, she has her stick up high. She accepts that feed. Quick cradle, and then a kind of soft lob bouncer in.
And Mona Yamane with her 4th of the game. 11-5 now here for Japan. And New Zealand will call a timeout. Here their head coach, Rosie Gunn. 7:21 to play here in the 4th. And again, that great attack here by Japan as we see another highlight here of the goal.
Great placement on that. We talk about crease rolls a lot. A hard save to make as a goalie. Most goalies come out a little more. They really try to mirror the stick of the shooter, and it's about placement. It's not about power on that shot. You know, you get the inside roll, and you're looking to shoot against the goalie's momentum.
And a good decision there by Yuzuna Ishii, too, on the false start there where she had the inside the 8 meters. She took the shot. This time decided to try something different, and you know, you mix it up a little bit, you fool the defenders, and was able to work there for Japan and able to take now a 6-goal lead with 7:21 to play.
You know, there's still a lot of time left. 7:21 is a lot of time in this game too, so I think New Zealand is probably going to come out of this timeout with some big adjustments, especially on the draw in the midfield. And again, I'm not surprised if they start face guarding a couple of the bigger threats on Japan.
Well, the bronze medal game coming up at noon today. We'll have that for you on the Lac Sports Network and the Olympic Channel with Australia and England. And then the U.S. and Canada going for gold at 3 o'clock. It'll be our final game here of this tournament. And what a great tournament it's been. The 2019 Lacrosse Women's U19 World Championships here from Trent University and also at the Fleming College, Fleming Sports Complex. We've had a number of games down there with the two fields. Want to thank them for their hospitality here and also here at Trent University as well.
Yeah, unbelievable hosts. They've been so warm and welcoming. We have 22 countries involved, several of these countries new. I mean, this is fantastic for the development of the sport.
A total of 9 playing for the first time here in this tournament. And great to see some of those new teams. And one of those teams here cheering on Puerto Rico last night, which was Kenya. And a good contingent of fans here from Japan and New Zealand here for this early game. Not an easy one to get up for and get here for. Probably not easy for the players as well to try to adjust to playing a 9 o'clock game in the morning.
Yeah, a lot of these players and teams alike got here a little bit earlier than the opening ceremonies on July 31st to really adjust to the time differences. You know, so many different teams, and you talk about 9 new teams, have traveled, you know, long and far to get here.
I know at least on the college level, usually a noontime game or maybe an afternoon or evening game, but very rarely at 9 a.m. Great try there by Nikki Fordyce and Hina Uchida with a stop. And that's a goal that New Zealand really needed.
Yeah, and a great stop right there on the doorstep.
Uchida hasn't been called on a lot here lately to make stops, but when she has, she's come up big like that one there. Real tight in by Fordyce. Izuna Ishii. Flip it back here to Tamura.
Yeah, I expect Japan may take their time on this. They're up. There's not a need to rush this. You know, 5:44 left is still enough time to score, and they certainly don't want New Zealand to score, so they're going to hold it over here. And we talked about the transition and redefend by New Zealand. You know, they swarm in that midfield. They're ready to jump ball.
When a team has it in the backfield like that and you're the New Zealand coach, how long do you let it go before you start to really press it?
You know, it really depends. I would say, you know, longest, maybe a minute. But look, they're sending a player right now. They don't want them to waste any more time. They're going to put the pressure on.
Right on cue here. New Zealand does put on that pressure, and it produces a turnover. Sophie Unsworth will take it ahead. 3-on-2 the other way. Let's see if she can take advantage. Unsworth gets fouled here by Hanoka Ida.
You know, we learned this a lot in the game. Big risks end up, you know, going in your favor, and they displayed that right here. When you go out and you play defense like that, you run the risk of being caught out wide, but instead she played incredible defense getting the ball for her team.
Unsworth with a good pass, shot, score by New Zealand's Katia Perry, her third of the game.
We talk about shooting early and how that's using your momentum to your advantage, you know, instead of the cradle, cradle, cradle and waste time. Catch and shoot, catch and shoot. We're trying to teach players to do this at every single level, and you see it pay off. Here's a replay of that shot right here. New Zealand has it on the opposite elbow. She feeds to her teammate number 19, who rips that shot. You know, catch, bring it back to her shoulder, and release.
New Zealand 6 goals.
And Sophie Unsworth, who got the assist, also had an assist versus Wales in the opening game of this tournament from Te Puke, New Zealand. And great feed to Katia Perry, who gets her third to join Henri Kruger, who also has 3. Leading goal scorer for Japan, 4 with Mona Yamani, along with Kokura Nakazawa. Both those players with 4 goals here in the game. With 4:25 to play here in the 5th place game here from Trent University. And a little bit earlier this morning, too, underway. Kenya and Israel for 17th place, that at the Fleming Sports Complex. Also down at Fleming, and a staggered start on the second field. Ireland versus Chinese Taipei, and that is for 19th place overall.
You know, the Kenya-Israel game is interesting to me because friends now become foes on the lacrosse field. Israel fantastic team and displaying the ultimate sportsmanship and bringing cleats for Team Kenya, and a surprise gift at that. You know, Kenya is not used to having, you know, any footwear, let alone those cleats, and so it has been incredible. And not just Kenya, but Jamaica, and I think about all these other teams really, you know, coming together under the umbrella of one sport.
Read an article from a local paper here in Peterborough, and they talked to some of the Kenyan athletes as they took them out to dinner. And one of the athletes who tried, I guess, a vegan meal said, "I don't like the green stuff."
Yeah, it's been, they have some funny stories. I've had the pleasure of sitting down with Storm. She is the head coach of Kenya, and, you know, they're getting used to being here. They've not been, you know, outside of Kenya, and it's been a great experience for them and definitely great for character development.
And don't worry, Kenyan players, I really don't like the green stuff either. It seems like the last 3 days I've been bulking up on carbs for sure. As Japan now, Yuzuna Ishii will circle back. And flip it up top here to Manaka Adachi. Looked like Adachi had a pretty good opportunity for a shot there. Really close in, but decided not to take it. I know you've talked about the effect of being able to take time off the clock here and force the defenders to come to you, but man, I thought it was a real good opportunity. Here's a great chance in front, and this time they take it. And it goes in wide by Maya Fuji.
You know, I think that really reflects mature decision-making and lacrosse IQ, when instead of doing the me against the world, you think about the long-term, you know, effects of that. If I shoot this shot and she makes the save, now possession is going to change, and so that's just mature decision-making right there.
Kakura Nakazawa on the double team, able to feed it off to Fuji. Fuji being forced here by Grafis. Grafis trying to get the steal from behind. Shot comes in, good save there by Godfrey, but the attacker getting knocked down here. That was Japan's Mayu Fuji.
And you can see right now New Zealand not hesitating, putting full pressure on.
Fuji with a goal and an assist, looking for a second, but the save coming there is actually now a new goalkeeper. My apologies. Josie Cox is in there for New Zealand. As a pass in front now to Jones. And it goes to Nakazawa, and that one-timer goes in wide. Just missed it. Yuzuna Ishii trying to work her way out, bounces a pass over to Jones. Had plenty of time, though, as Lucy Hackett finally able to converge on her. We're down to 2:09 to play. Opportunity in front, shot, score here for Japan as Mona Yamani gets her 5th of the game.
You know, it didn't look like New Zealand was ready for that. I think they thought they were stalling and they weren't going to go to net, but, you know, we've seen this in other games too. Sometimes we think one thing and they do the opposite.
Well, as a player, too, that you recognize that opportunity and you decide to take it, shows the confidence of Mona Yamani there. And again, the good decision-making. And
here's a replay of that right here. You can see them both trailing. You know, they were late to the party, as we call it. Both slides a little bit late, unable to get in front of that shot.
And now 14 goals for Mona Yamani here in this tournament. So we're down to 2 minutes to play. 12-6 Japan over New Zealand. Winner takes 5th place overall. And Nohu Murata tried to get off the pass there, lost the handle. And this will be New Zealand's ball.
Yeah, New Zealand fans getting loud right now, getting excited. And it looks like she said the call was in the opposite direction, but she made a mistake, so she resets on the field.
So Yuzuna Ishii has control near side as 2 defenders go to try to take on here Maki Tamura.
You know, we've talked a lot about the players. We haven't talked about the officials and the umpires. They've been very vigilant, and they have been so on point with all these calls. Very impressive with all these games. Most days we've had about 8 games, and these refs have been back and forth. Fantastic job by all of them.
And we talk about the diversity of all the countries that are here. Good diversity, too, with the referees from all over the world.
And they've been fantastic and vigilant on all of these contacts. You know, if there's illegal contact, they make the call. You know, they're keeping these games safe and keeping these players safe.
That's the wonderful thing about lacrosse. It's a worldwide sport, so the communication is great here as Hina Uchida will retreat back behind her net, forcing Lucy Hackett to come chase her. 48 seconds to play. And Japan on their way to the 5th place finish here at the 2019 Lacrosse Women's U19 World Championships. But a takeaway here by New Zealand. Lonnie Moat trying to get a handle on it. She does now. Right, 30 seconds left here in the match. Pass in front, shot scored here by New Zealand as Sophie Unsworth gets her first of the game. 2 points for Unsworth, and with 26.9 seconds to go, 12-7.
You know, I love players like this who are ambassadors for their country. You know, they're relentless and they persevere. With 26 left, you know, they don't give up, and I think that says a lot about their team unity, and how they just won't give up.
7 points in the tournament for Sophie Unsworth, 5 goals and 2 assists.
And here we have that replay of that shot. Rolls back, makes the feed, and the catch and shoot. Shooting fast. Goalie not ready for that shot. You know, we've talked a lot about sportsmanship in this game, and especially the World Games here. We've seen it displayed, you know, a lot of uneven games at the beginning of bracket play, and you wouldn't know it at the end of the games. Everyone's celebrating these different cultures. I've loved it so far.
Goal Sophie Unsworth, assisted by Lonnie Moat. 15 seconds to go as Japan controls here with Hanoka Ida. Ida will take time off the clock, passes it to Nakazawa. Nakazawa with a try, and getting a piece of it there was Josie Cox. Trying to surprise her with a quick shot, almost did, but time expires here, and Japan has won it. The final score, 12-7 over New Zealand to take 5th place overall.
Yeah, fantastic game from both teams. Both teams should be so proud. You know, we've talked a lot to different players here, and they are so impressed and proud of being ambassadors for their countries. I think this was a great display of sportsmanship and athleticism this morning.
Mona Yamane leading the way for Japan with 5 goals. Kakura Nakazawa with 4. Negi Nakazawa with 2. Monica Jones with a goal in this game. Solid game in net for Hina Uchida. On the other side, 3 goals apiece for Katia Perry and for Henri Kruger, and 1 goal at the end for Sophie Unsworth. Again, the final score, Japan 12 and New Zealand 7 for 5th place overall in this tournament. And don't forget, we'll have a couple of games coming up. The bronze medal game with Australia and England at noon, and then the U.S. and Canada at 3 o'clock. We'll have about a 10-minute cool down here, and we'll come back with the audio here for the presentation and the congratulations to both teams, and also the player of the match. All that coming up here on the Lax Sports Network and the Olympic Channel.
Now for the Heart of Lacrosse Award. The Heart of Lacrosse Award shall be presented to recognize an individual or group who has made an outstanding contribution to the team or group selecting them. For New Zealand, Harriet Overend. Harriet has been an integral part of this New Zealand U19 campaign. She is a strong and inspiring leader of the team. In December last year, an ankle injury turned out of contention for the final 18. As a coaching team, we knew we couldn't lose her as a member of the squad, so brought her on as a specialist coach. Harriet has thrived in this role and has continued to lead her teammates. Watching her confidence grow as a new coach has been inspiring. Coming back from such a devastating injury and being so positive in her rehab and continuing to build her relationships with both the coaches and players. She has been a role model to all involved in this campaign. Would not have been the same without her. We love you, Harriet, and appreciate all you've done for us. For Japan, we would like to thank our data analysis team in Japan who is fighting with us throughout this tournament. The team has 63 candidates and has been led by Hiraku Kawaguchi and Haraki Takano. They have been working so hard to analyze our games. Thank you to them. Congratulations to both teams. It has